When the hand of destiny shapes the life of a beautiful soul, such as Annie Besant, who wanted to save the souls of humanity, any human heart would be thrilled with delight. She was an author, a prolific writer, public speaker, lecturer, editor, political and social rights activist, women's rights activist, union activist, a teacher of science, Indian nationalist, president of several socialist organizations, and eventually the president of the Theosophical Society.
Annie Besant was born on October 1, 1847, at 5:39 p.m. in London, England. Her father, Dr. William Wood, was extremely well educated, a mathematician, medical doctor, philosopher, and linguist. He spoke French, German, Spanish, Italian, Portuguese, a smattering of Hebrew and Gaelic. He was also a lover of classical literature. Dr. Wood became a doctor because he wanted to help people. He ridiculed the church's tenets of sin, shame, and hell. Dr. William Wood died when Annie was 5 years of age and her brother, Harry, was 7. It is said that his Irish wife, Emily, swooned and fell unconscious when she learned that he had died. When she looked herself in the mirror, she saw her raven black, ever shining, and thick hair had turned white. The unexpected death of Annie's father left the family without funds. Her mother was hired as a tutor for a boy her son's age, whose parents desired him to be well educated. She found an old house that had been a vicarage. She now could have more boys stay at her home and be tutored until they were ready to enter Harrow School.
This was the ideal home for Annie. It stood on top of Harrow Hill. Rose bushes covered the front and ivy vines covered the back of the house. When she was 8 years of age, Miss Marriott, a maiden lady of large means, came to Annie's life. This was the beginning of an education that was unique and fortuitous. Miss Marriott, now called Auntie, taught them everything except music. Emily was proud of Annie's progress in her studies. At 16 and a half, Annie completed her studies with Auntie. As she was growing into womanhood, her mystic love passionately twined themselves around sacrifice for Christ through the church. She longed to spend her time worshiping Jesus. When she was 19, she became betrothed to a Cambridge man, Frank Besant, a young clergyman and deacon. In the winter of 1867, she married Frank Besant. 2 children, Arthur Digby and Mabel, were born by the time she was 23 years old. While practicing on the organ in the small church, she had a sudden urge to ascend to the pulpit. She gave a superb lecture to empty pews. The words came easily. She wrote short stories and sent them off to magazines.
As she began questioning her religious beliefs and the infallibility of the Bible and the Church, she became ill and even contemplated suicide in the summer of 1871. Her sensitive emotional nature was tortured by doubt. She had to know the truth. Finally, she resolved not to accept communion. In 1873, when she refused to take communion, she and her husband legally separated. He was to have the boy and Annie was to have the girl, Mabel. At last, she felt that she was free. Her future work was to reveal the love of God. The true love of a Christian's God is to work for the education of humanity and to eliminate religious bigotry. Annie moved to London with her daughter Mabel. She joined the National Secular Society, which advocated free thought. She developed a close relationship with Charles Bradlaugh, the editor of the National Reformer, an attorney, and an MP in Parliament. From one extreme of religious belief, she went to the other extreme, atheism. She wrote many articles on issues such as women's rights, marriage, and social justice.
Marguerite Darboggia presently serves as secretary and membership chairperson of ISAR, the International Society for Astrological Research. She formerly served as publisher of Cosmos, the ISAR journal, and as secretary and director of ISAR and UAC, the United Astrology Congress. She was a co-founder of UAC. Her articles are published in the ISAR journal and in other publications. At this time, she offers free of charge 3 pages weekly online of the ancient wisdom teachings as was known by Pythagoras. Visit our website at pythagораsteachings.com.